You're listening to the Wellness Real Estate Podcast, and today I have Tori McGee on the show. She's been branding herself as Atlanta Holistic Realtor. I'm so curious to hear about how that's working out for her and if she's seen traction in her business and generating leads from this. So that's what we talk about this entire episode. So if you're an agent who wants to know what being a holistic realtor actually means and how you can start differentiating yourself, stay tuned because this is an episode you don't want to miss. Welcome to the Wellness Real Estate Podcast, where you'll discover a groundbreaking strategy that is transforming real estate marketing. In every episode, we focus on topics that will help you have more authentic engagements and meaningful conversations about your business. As the wellness real estate impact grows, with projections reaching $850 billion by 2027, don't miss this opportunity to revolutionize your approach, generate more leads, and increase sales, becoming the community connector you're meant to be. I'm Sheila Alston, and I'm your host. I'm also the founder of Healthy Home Media, where I help agents all over the country leverage this new trend in the industry to spark new conversations that get people to listen to you and notice your brand. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels without the consistent leads or sales to show for it, then stay tuned. This podcast is your guide to standing out in a rapidly evolving market, guaranteed to change the way you think about real estate marketing. Okay, I'm so excited. I've got Tori McGee here. She's the holistic realtor in Atlanta. And it's been about a year since I last talked to you. So I'm so curious to see how this holistic thing is working in your business, if you're gaining traction on that, and how you actually are talking to clients about it. So
Yeah.
welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me back. And it's been amazing. I've had so many people come to me needing a wellness, holistic minded realtor because it's just such a need for it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got families, and since it's been, post COVID now, everyone is on this healing journey from, whatever it is, and they're starting to realize because they were in their homes so much, their homes were making them sick.
Yes.
And so that's kind of, what we've, been talking about and experiencing. And it's just, I get calls, my inbox, I get at least 5 a week.
Really? And how are they finding you?
They just said they found me. They said just
Oh,
through out there, hearing other people talk about me, through the things that I'm posting, which is really important. I try to
yeah.
put information out there, just to kind of, share with everybody kind of what I'm doing. And so that, that kind of, it just all, works out.
Well, for one thing, I just want everyone to go check out your website because it is amazing. It's a
Thank
list of
you.
Atlanta Holistic Realtor. So
Yep.
what
Atlanta
I love
Holistic
about
Realtor.
that is that it's searchable, right?
Yep.
I mean, most agents are going to choose their name and nobody's searching for your name if they don't know you, right?
That's right. Right. And that's kind of the whole thing that I was, I wanted people to understand what I was doing. And it's easy searchable. And I've got tons of resources on there if you're just, whatever you're looking to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but then you're also posting about it. So what kind of posting are you doing? And what are you actually saying? What is holistic real estate to you, actually? Maybe you can start there first.
So yeah, holistic real estate is just basically looking at the home and the whole family at, how that interferes with your family, like the whole wellness of it,
Mhm.
right? For some people, it might be, just cleaning up some of the chemicals. Some people might be really eliminating the VOCs and the floors and the paint. A lot of families recently that I've been speaking to are past mold exposures. So holistic to them kind of means making sure the home is more non-toxic, like they don't want any mold or,
Mhm.
moisture in their homes.
Mhm.
So that's a big thing because, you know, it's, I meet so many families with past mold exposure.
And not everybody realizes the damage that can do. And so I think if you haven't known anyone that has had experienced mold issues or had any problems, it's easy to brush it under the rug like lead paint or something like that. But if you
Yeah.
know anyone who's sensitive to any of that stuff, it can be really terrible, just
Mhm.
chronic health conditions that you're dealing with.
And there's a statistic and some studies out there. There are some people that's more super hybrid, more sensitive,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
They're very much more sensitive to it. And I just closed on one young lady that found me, and she had worked with a doctor locally. And he was just adamant before we could even put the home on the market. He had petri dishes for her to leave out for an hour. And within 12 to 24 hours, if there was any growth in the petri dish, he told her not to even put an offer on the property.
Oh, wow.
So I'm actually learning from past mold clients as well. They're
Mm-hmm.
coming to me, but I'm also learning, and I'm also working with their practitioners, which is
Mm-hmm.
beautiful and amazing thing. But what's sad is a lot of times when I go and speak with maybe, when I go over and I actually speak to maybe a realtor that I'm co-oping with, maybe it's their listing, some I get different feedback. Some of them really understand and hear what I'm saying, but some of them kind of push it to the side and said, well, that family lived there, 15 years and they never had a problem. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
we have an ERMI test and we have, different testing. We're not just, making it up. We've got photographs. We can see it.
Yeah.
And, so that's just kind of the struggle, I would say, but fighting for my families and just really educating other realtors about certain people are more sensitive than others.
Well, you know, I think that it's just stemming from the agent wanting a smooth close. And so this feels like a hiccup in the smooth closing,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yes.
they don't
Oh,
want to
it
deal
is.
with that. There
Yeah.
can be a lot of resistance with that. But I'm sure you have like a really great, mold remediation company that you work with. And it's really just about educating and, um, making sure that everybody understands what's the process to get rid of it and how to you don't just paint over mold because that doesn't make it
No.
go away.
And spray
Right.
bleach. I get, so many, different, people, if I speak to, the listing agent, they might say, oh, well, the seller said he'll just put bleach on it. No.
No.
So, and that's just, we do have a couple of challenges, but I will say I get so many people reaching out, wanting as a wellness realtor.
Hmm.
And they love my magazine. They love, everything that I'm sharing. And it is so important to, get it out there if other agents, are doing it, get educated, learn about building biology, learn about healthy homes and, and help your clients, help them align and do what they need.
Well, you're really being a guide for them. And isn't that what you want to be anyways? I mean, nobody really
Yeah.
wants to just be that transactional
Right.
person who's like the paper pusher. Like that's not
Right.
fun,
Right.
But if you can feel like you're making a difference in that family's life and you're really helping them find the right home for their family, that's probably really rewarding for you.
It is so rewarding. And I stay friends. I mean, like, I go out to eat with them. The other night I went out to eat with one family and they're inviting me. Oh, I mean, you really become part of because I understand I've had
Hmm.
a couple over the last year that their children has had autism
Hmm.
and and they can see that the healthier the home, the better the symptoms are and the better
Yeah.
the children are doing on their healing journey. And I mean, it just really makes a difference. And it has been it's been a whirlwind. It really has been. It's great. And it's crazy. Like I have so many people requesting to want to join, me on Facebook and
Yeah.
I'm already maxed out. Like I don't even know like how to, I want to help people. It's like I don't even know what to do.
You're going to have to create a course and
Yeah.
that way you can share it with people.
That's a
Because I
great.
do feel like, as more and more people are on their own healing journeys that have nothing to do with home environment, right? They're learning that the symptoms of mold and things are like brain fog. They're things that we write off as just old age. And it's
Yeah.
not old age. It could be mold exposure. It could be fungus exposure. It could be heavy metals. It could be
Right.
parasites. It could be what are the stuff they're pesticides, right? Everywhere.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
just feel like, we all have this immune system and our bodies are supposed to be well. We have the ability to heal ourselves. But if we're constantly putting toxins in from not just what we eat, but the environment too,
Right.
then it's like our cup is overflowing and we just can't,
Mhm.
we kind of have these chronic symptoms. And so anything you can do, boy,
Yeah.
you're in that family circle of trust if you're fighting for their well-being, right?
And it's an exciting place to be because they put their trust in me, and I come in and depending on if it's a crawl space or not, I try to anybody that's healing from past mold exposure, I kind of try to stay away from it or prepare them for, encapsulation, dehumidifier down there, doing it properly, because if the home is right and we only have a crawl space, I don't want them to be scared of that,
Mm-hmm.
but I want them to be educated in that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
And
they're
know
not,
that there's steps they can take to make it okay, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I
Hmm.
do like what you said that you're learning on your journey just from dealing with these people, because I do think one um uh bumper set one thing that kind of might hold people back from becoming a holistic realtor might just be they're thinking that I'm not a healthy home expert. I don't know any of that stuff. But they
Yeah.
might want to get started. Maybe they have like you're a certified health coach, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
yeah, I've been in the health and wellness field, and I became a certified nutrition specialist, and
right.
coaching people in the health movement. But if somebody, they could maybe even start with green designation, just get a
Mm-hmm.
little familiar with
Mm-hmm.
what that looks like. And yes, I've lived it, over 20 years, so that's been, kind of me helping them with what I've done over the years. But anybody can get started on helping.
Well, and I do think that when you just go out and meet the other healthy home experts in your local area and you just start having conversations, you're just learning as you go. And
Um,
then you don't have to be the healthy home expert. You can just be the connector, right?
yeah,
And connect
yeah,
people to these resources that are helping them.
yes,
And I
yeah,
think that allows you to stay the real estate expert
yeah,
and just connecting people with others who can help. I love that.
yeah.
So, I'm guessing that when you have your initial consultation with some people that you don't know, you're probably asking different kinds of questions than you would if
Mhm.
you're just a normal realtor. So maybe could you share some of those that you have?
I had the one this week. Some family that tracked me down. The child's been struggling, with the natural doctor had noticed, there has been some mold exposure at some point. So we had some really good conversations, and we just talked about, like, what does it look like for them? Like, where are they at now? What have they dealt with? And what do they want to accomplish? Like, what does that home look like for them? And
Mhm.
then what's funny is when we start looking, it kind of changes sometimes. It's not
Hmm.
exactly what they think. So I just reassure them, and I go over everything, what it looks like step by step, and depending on if they have their home to sell, or what does everything look like. But I want to know, they're reaching out to me because of a health concern. I want to know, what is that health concern. And then another one this week was EMF sensitivity. She
Hmm.
wants me to help her find something, more out, away from 5G towers,
Hmm.
away from power lines, because she is very sensitive and gets very sick by being around power lines.
Hmm.
So, that's a little bit of a challenge, but I can definitely step up to that. And I understand what she's dealing with. And
Yeah.
I just like to hear them. I want to hear them. And everybody's different. One's this week was also in a condo, and she could smell her neighbor's dryer sheets, and it was making her sick. The smell, just that high fragrance.
Yeah.
I said, well, you can knock on the door and say, hey, how about I buy you some more
Yeah.
natural?
Yeah, natural ones and see
Yeah,
just for the meantime, and then you
yeah,
can move somewhere else. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Wow. So maybe share, do you have a story you could share of of a family that you've sold a house to and how it's made a difference in their lives?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few of them. I have one lady that we closed in January, like right after the first of the year. We were out actually on Christmas Eve
Hmm.
looking for a house,
Oh geez.
Christmas Eve. And I mean, I knew that, she was in a timeline. Her apartment was going to be her lease was going to be up, and this one just checked off the boxes. She's healing. She actually had severe mold sensitivity and actually had to have surgery. So she's
Oh.
like in major recovery mode. Like she has to be like it was the most strictest one that I've had to go through because of her past surgery, and she couldn't relapse. This is the petri dish.
Mm-hmm.
And, we did all the testing and we found a little bit in the attic. So we did need to do some special encapsulation. She had to do something with special, filters and with the HVAC. And I put her in the right place with the right people who she could speak with to get everything done that she wanted to get done. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually spoke with her last week and she said, Tori, it is night and day. And when I'm in this house, I feel so good. I breathe so good.
Oh,
And I
good.
always like to give out, during closing gifts, I like to give air doctors. So
Yeah.
very appreciative of that. And I mean, just to hear her excitement of feeling so good in her house.
Yeah, and that you helped her do that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So do you have to give any disclaimers or anything like that you're not a doctor and even though you're
No,
trying to
I mean,
find
because I
them
don't like,
a
yeah,
house that
I don't diagnose or treat or
yeah,
anything. We just talk about like what you're trying, with the whole mold. I get the professionals out there,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I've had mold sensitivity or whatever. I'll say, well, let's get out, let's have it tested for an ERMI so
Hmm.
you know what spores you have in your home. So I'm not
Yeah,
really doing anything like you said. I'm connecting
yeah,
everyone up, but I also do have a flashlight. So
yeah,
during when we're doing a tour, I do go around really good and we point things out, but we're only pointing them out for like, let's have them double check this area. Let's
yeah,
look underneath the sink. Has there
yeah,
been a past leak there? If so, they need to go in there and test.
yeah. That is so valuable because I bet you most agents don't do that. And so they so appreciate that you're taking that extra step to be mindful of something that they care
Yeah,
about. I know
yeah.
that that's the reason why you got into being a real estate agent in the beginning too, right?
That's right. Yeah. Yep. I
So,
wanted it for my own family. Like I wanted, this extra layer of making sure, and doing a good, because some people will just walk through really quick. And I get we need to do sometimes quick showings, just to look at the house. But when it comes to your due diligence time,
mhm,
when you are under, you don't know how many, sadly, how many eight and how many people will reach out to me. They just closed with another realtor within the last 3 months. They found mold in their home. They're sick. And this one lady called me crying, just, I don't know what to do. I used somebody that was recommended on Facebook. I went with
mhm,
this person and there's mold in my house and I don't know what to do. And so I'm like, I can't really, you know, do anything now, like going back to the seller or help you, but I can definitely give you some great resources and you
mhm,
can just have it taken care of. And of course, she's like, well, I want to go after the seller. I'm like, well, you have to talk to your realtor about that. And
mhm,
was anything disclosed? Did you even do a mold test? She said, no, I
mhm.
didn't even know about a mold test.
Yeah,
Didn't even know about it.
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad that people are
Yeah.
finding you and that they're able to just get someone who is knowledgeable and who can help them in your area. That's wonderful. So tell
Yeah.
me, what are the questions? I mean, are you talking about this with other agents too? And do they have questions that they're coming at you with?
Yeah, a lot of people are, curious about me. I mean, I have a
Yeah.
lot of people saying, I looked you up. I looked at what you do. And then, it's just a lot of, a lot of my mom, all the mom groups and more holistic and, crunchy moms, they
Mhm.
all follow me and they're tagging me whenever somebody posts something there. And it's such a beautiful knowing that I have such amazing, women tribe that love me that much because,
Mhm.
I'm just like them. And other realtors, I get 50-50. Some are very interested and really have a desire to. And then some, just want to, it just blows right off of them and they just want to, go to the closing table. So
Right.
yeah,
Well, it's okay. I do know that you do have a Facebook group, right, for holistic people
I
interested in a
do.
holistic realtor.
I do. And I try to only keep it because I have had a lot lately just trying to get in there to, to network.
Yeah.
And they're not more wellness. So I've had a few of them, want to get into the group, but I
Yeah.
want to keep it that you're just really like-minded, right? I don't want this just to be like an everyday, because there's 1,000,
Yeah.
referral groups,
Yes.
and we're a small little, there's like 50 of us.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
we all kind of talked about that. They said, just kind of vet everybody good, Tori, because we don't
yeah.
want to start referring, saying, oh, this agent over here is wellness in this state, and then they're really not.
Yes. Right.
Yeah,
So
but I
good.
do. Hmm.
I mean, I feel like there's agents who honestly want to be more
Yeah.
wellness. They just don't
Hmm.
know. So maybe they can connect with you and see if it's a
Yeah.
good group for them. What's the name of the Facebook group?
Yep. It's Holistic Realtor Network.
Awesome. They
They're
should
pretty
definitely.
easy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, what advice would you give to an agent who is thinking of, they want to stand out in the marketplace, they don't know how to do it, and maybe they do have some passions for healthy living. What
Yeah.
advice would you give to them?
I would say, first make sure, like you said, if as long as they have a passion for it, right? Because
Hmm.
it really has to come, because if you're not really living it or have that passion for it, it's
Hmm.
hard to, help someone else do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So I think
Right.
that's kind of the first thing, really, make sure, you want to get into it for that reason. And then, just really go out and, help connect up with some great, you want a home inspector, you want a roof inspector, you want a water, basically like a water remediation, but you also want to be careful what vendors you have. I like to have two or three,
Hmm.
always two or three, just make sure you've got some, and somebody that will do an ERMI test, not just air quality.
Okay, tell me more about that. What's an ERMI test?
So the ERMI test is kind of the history of the home. It's kind of a dust test. You're going to either they'll, usually the practitioner or the person doing the mold test.
Hmm.
And some mamas can even do it themselves. There's a company that will sell an ERMI kit. And then, I have a lot of moms that will actually do that, that's had mold exposure.
Hmm.
They'll go around and wipe up some dust and they'll send it to the lab. It's like $350,
Hmm.
for an ERMI test, but it kind of gives you the history of the home. It's not necessarily what's happening today active, but it is kind of the history of the home and
How
what
do you know the right spot to get in the home? Because they're not testing the whole house. They're just
you
testing the
try to stay
spot.
away from, like, the window area. You try to,
Hmm.
do the middle of the home. Some people do it like around the stair, going up and down stairs.
Oh,
You can do that. You can, just kind of go around the house and just try to, just get some dust, maybe off some baseboards. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
yeah.
interesting. Okay, so you're saying just go find some local healthy home experts, find
Yeah.
some good
Yeah.
transactional people that you need to connect with that understand some of this
Yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah.
then I think you learn more when you do connect with those professionals. And then if you're promoting those professionals on
Mhm.
your Instagram, people are
Yeah.
learning, like, why did you choose that professional? And it just
Right.
gives you something more to talk about that is leaning
Right.
in with how you're trying to
Yeah.
differentiate yourself.
Because
Good
as
advice.
realtors, we don't have to be mold experts, right?
Right,
We're
right.
here to, to help them navigate through the process. This is the biggest financial decision they'll ever make. It's not our
Hmm.
decision.
Hmm.
And I think, I hear a lot of times, some realtors are kind of making the decision for the client, about certain things. I
Hmm.
like to give them tools
Hmm.
and give them education and knowledge, so they can, when they get their keys and they pay that first mortgage, they had, that informed, they has had all that information.
Right, right. Because ultimately it's their decision and they're the
Yeah,
ones that
they're paying the
say
mortgage.
they want to pay the mortgage. They're the ones who opt for that test. No, just knowing that there's an extra test, is it
Yeah.
worth $300 to them to do
Right.
it? You
Yeah.
know, it might be, right? If certainly if they have children that are dealing with chronic issues,
Hmm.
they'll probably pay for these extra tests. So good for you.
And radon too, a lot
Yeah.
of, people don't even do radon. I've been surprised on how many, as a listing agent,
Hmm.
as well as a buyer's agent, because I have a lot of listings. They don't, they haven't even done radon testing on the property, and I just kind of let it go, because, they're representing their buyer. So
Right.
that's one thing too. I mean, there's a lot of steps, and if you want to get more into it, you can reach out to different, go ask questions, ask those professionals, call them out to the house, be there, ask questions about, mold and, what, these different spores or what's going on, with rotten wood and what does water intrusion do and all, there's so much information out there
Yeah,
now.
and they love talking about that stuff too,
Yeah.
right? So just
Yeah.
share, interview these
Yeah.
people and share the interview on your social
Yeah.
media. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. You're such a wealth of information, and I just love what you're doing. And I
Mhm.
love the website and how it's not just, let me go search for a home. It's let me find out what holistic realtor means. And
I
maybe
mean, we
a
have
little bit
so
more
many
about that.
searches for homes,
Yeah,
Sheila.
yeah.
You have like you go on the web anywhere, you can Google homes. Us as realtors, we have our email searches set up for our clients, and we're also, navigating and looking for off the market. We do this. We need information for the health and wellness of our homes. It's so
Hmm.
important to, to be able to give them a little guidance and like local practitioners, like maybe a
Hmm.
local farmer's market, and I just try to specialize it a little bit.
Yes, and be more community based. And I think you have
Yeah.
free lead magnets so that you're growing your email list. You're doing all the things right,
Yes.
Tori.
Yeah. In the magazine, I'll tell you, it's such a joy in having that. I love putting it out there every single month, about that. I mean, it's just I
Mhm.
love sharing that.
Well, I created it just so that you don't have to do more work than you already do. I know what it's like to be a real estate agent. You're already so busy. So if I
Yeah.
can kind of create some content for you to share that makes it aligns with your brand and makes it easier for you, that's what I want to
And
do.
it works so good. I get so many compliments on it. They're like, wow, Tori, this magazine has so much information. I said, every month I am floored by the magazine. Like I keep learning every month from the magazine. I love every bit of it.
Well, we're doing some pretty incredible things too, and I don't know, I'll have to talk to you about it
Yeah,
later,
I'm
but
excited.
yeah, I'm excited just because I do think that this is a pivotal time where health and home is really like intersecting, coming together. So many people are
Yes.
realizing, and there's just so many more opportunities to help people in a new way. And if you're an open-minded realtor who just really wants to help people, this is a great bridge to just have more conversations about your business in an authentic way that shows you
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
And it allows you to help people more than just a transaction. And at the end of the day, you don't want to be chasing leads, right? You want to be able to get out ahead of it and be helpful ahead of time so that when it's time to list or time to
Right.
buy, they're like, I already know who my agent
Right. Yeah. It's not even a
is.
question. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But it's also so powerful. Like for me, having the tribe of moms all around Atlanta, I
Hmm.
get tagged, like I'll look at my notifications. I'm getting tags all day long. Ask Tori, she really knows about this stuff and it makes me feel so good. I love it. I love them. I was on the phone yesterday for 30 minutes with a mama, really just trying to, how can I make I don't want to sell. How can I make my house healthier? And we just
Yeah.
went over little things to slowly start transitioning. So it's
Yeah.
not always about, you
Well,
know,
and it's okay because you're in it for the long game, right? You're in it to build
yeah,
relationships, right? So you help
yeah,
that mom that says, I need help, but I'm not looking to
yep,
sell, and you do that, then
yeah,
they're the ones that are spreading the news
yep,
about you and
yep,
sharing, information about you and why you're the agent, the go-to agent, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so I
exactly.
do have a question. How did you get into some of these moms groups? Because I know that a lot of newer agents even
Mhm.
or older agents, they're joining some of these Facebook groups, but every group doesn't want you to sell or say,
Yeah.
come buy from me. So how do you let people know that you're an agent?
Well,
Or
it was kind of like my passion. I'm in there because I don't just join the groups to be, branding myself or
yeah.
anything. Like a lot of these groups too, the wellness groups and holistic groups and all that. It's just kind of, I've been into a lot of them. I've been in one for 9 years.
Mm,
And so whenever somebody says, hey, I'm looking to sell, and then I would just say, hey, well, I'm a realtor, a holistic realtor, and I'll just put it out there, put my website. So I don't go out there just blasting myself. But if somebody asks,
yes.
when I'll step up and say, this is what I do. and just
And
provide my information. Yeah, I don't join just to be,
yes.
networking. Yeah.
And if someone is asking a question about how to create a healthy home, then you supply the answers to that. And that's
Right.
probably
That's
how they're,
exactly right. I don't,
yeah.
yeah. And then I just, of course, and I'm in there just for, helping other moms if they had a question about, whatever, for about their child, or whatever. I'm just like, oh, I'm an experienced mom. I've got four. So, so
Yeah.
kind of, being in there, being a part of, what you love. And I'm also the founder of Non-Toxic Georgia.
Tell me more about that. What's that?
So it's basically, I started a few years ago and it's also a group. So anybody in
Okay.
Georgia listening can join. It's all about everything non-toxic and healthy and holistic. We talk about farmers markets. We do talk about the health of our homes. And I do let everybody like once a month do a business shout out, like
Oh,
post your
nice.
business here. Tell everybody what you're doing. So
Yeah.
people can kind of scroll down and see what somebody's doing. Are you a
You
farmer?
should have an event for that,
I have definitely been,
right?
yes, I'd love to do a wellness event. And that's something I'd love
Yes.
to do in the springtime. Yeah.
I need to put you in touch with another member. She's done a wellness like convention in her
Oh,
area
yeah.
called WellCon. Isn't that the best name?
Oh, that's the
So, the
best.
best. And she did it a few months ago, and it's amazing. But you guys should connect so you can do one of those in your area. Just because what an amazing opportunity to have all those local businesses
Yeah.
together to kind of serve the community and bring people together all around
Mhm.
healthy home. Like so cool.
I would love that. That would be so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Tori. If
You're
anybody wants
welcome.
to check out your website, where do they go?
It's Atlanta Holistic Realtor, and on Instagram, it's Holistic Home Expert.
Great. Thank you so much, Tori.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, Tori, tell me about how the calendars worked for you.
Calendars were amazing. All of my past clients really love the calendars. And I've been giving them out, locally. And like when I have a listing presentation, I'll
Hmm.
give out my calendar. And then I've just, been giving them out randomly because I bought some extra ones. And
Yeah.
it's been such a treat. I had so many people say they love the calendar.
Well, I tried to design it so that it was really beautiful that you'd want to actually put it up, right? But I love
Yeah,
how you're subtly listed on every single page,
yeah,
and you have like advice on every page of how to
yeah,
create a healthy home. So
yeah. It was great.
good.
Yeah, I
What was
loved it. And
what was
everybody
some
else
of the
loved it too.
feedback that they gave you besides just loving it? Did anyone comment on um
it's just beautiful and it worked for them perfectly. Of course they're just really excited because some of the calendars are, not aesthetically nice, but this one was, and like they loved all the healthy home tips.
good. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that it worked for you.
Yeah, so excited. And then I was telling them to stay tuned because what we might do, anybody listening that wants to maybe be featured in the calendar, we can maybe let some local businesses maybe be in there and they can reach out to me and we see
That is
what
such a
price.
good idea
Yeah,
because if you did get a business to put an ad in your calendar, it's something that a person's going to keep all year
yeah,
long. But like the Green Queen, right? Like she's
yeah,
a good resource to put in there. And
yes,
if it's in the spring and you talk, like give a little
yeah,
blurb about why people can start looking at their pets and whatever, and
yeah,
then use them instead, I think that's such
yeah,
a great way to reduce the cost of
mhm,
the mailings
yeah.
and also give more exposure to all of your business partners.
It is, and then yeah, that's my goal is this year to really try to reach out to them, get everything set up by October, and
Mhm.
then we're ready to run. And so by the first week of January or so, everybody will be getting their calendars and it's in place. So I'm going to jump on that this year.
Yeah, well, if you don't want to do it, we have that Farm for Free program as part of
Oh,
our
okay.
direct mail. So when you
Oh,
start sending your mailings, also, we'll
mhm.
just need your Rolodex and we'll call everybody for you. And
Oh,
we'll
that's
not only
awesome.
sell them ads in your magazine that you're sending, but in your
Right.
calendar too.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, good. I love
Um,
that.
yeah, that's great. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something new that will inspire you to think about your branding and how you can market yourself a little differently. If you enjoyed this episode, then you're going to love what I have for you, because you don't need to wait to go get extra certifications or to grow and expand your network to get started attracting those new leads right now. You can simply begin by talking about wellness real estate trends and what you've learned on this podcast with others. I mean, this is pretty interesting stuff that no one has heard about, and I have all the tools that can make it even easier for you. Wellness Real Estate Magazine is a brand new wellness lifestyle magazine, and it's the only magazine that brings health and home together. We educate readers on industry trends and how to create a healthier home environment, written by industry experts around the country. And we have 3 covers to choose from: Wellness RE, Healthy Home, and Wellness at Home, so you can easily find one that aligns with your unique brand and messaging. These magazines are the perfect done-for-you tools that help you not only stay top of mind, but they educate and engage your audience, which positions you as an industry expert. Differentiate yourself and grow your brand the easy way. Learn more at healthyhomemedia.com.